Hi everyone, Tom Vogel, Wrestling's Finest PC Pro Wrestling game. This video here, we're going to focus on 3 or 4 items. Things about the game that some of you may not quite completely understand how they work. And some of you probably know it, but you might have forgot. So I just want to do a quick refresher on a few things. So let's get right to it. Here I've selected Dusty Rhodes, Great Kabuki, and I want to here go to, we're going to select manager. We're going to put him with Playboy Gary Hart, and we are going to use the 76 and later. All right, so when this is the point 1 of this video, when you elect to use, if you elect to use the computer to control one or both wrestlers, you'll see here how excuse me, we have Great Kabuki's a heel and Dusty Rhodes a face. So let's say we're going to have the computer control Dusty Rhodes. You'll see the default setting will always be either heel or face, depending what the wrestler, like if we wanted to use Kabuki, he'll come up heel. So very important though here is do not change the face or heel. A lot of people have asked me, well, if I want Dusty Rhodes to wrestle as a heel, why wouldn't I change him to a heel on here? Well, keep in mind that Vogue, the computer opponent, the decisions he makes typically, almost exclusively, there are a few exceptions, involve strategy cards. And Dusty Rhodes is rated, the one we're using here, he's a face wrestler. And if you say, well, let's put him as a heel, he's still going to wrestle based on his rating, which is a face. The decisions the computer makes are going to be heel, mainly calling for foreign objects and calling for outside help way more often than a face. I mean, way more. So what will end up happening is Dusty will do stuff that a heel would, or a face would never do, or rarely do. One of them is intentionally get counted out of the ring. When is a face, said, I don't want to fight anymore, I'm chicken, so I'm going to go back to the dressing room. You just don't want to have that happen, and that could happen if you choose heel computer setting for Dusty or any face. So changing the computer setting doesn't change the wrestler's rating. It just changes the decisions the computer opponent will make. And it's actually a disaster if you do it. I know, I can get cute here and make Dusty have him wrestle as a heel. He is not going to wrestle as a heel. He's still going to be a face, but he's going to make heel decisions, and the face ratings just don't dictate making him, a heel for computer. So please keep that in mind. Very important. Second thing I want to point out, purpose of this video, is the pre-match setting. And let me pull this up here a little bit. This has to do with pre-match attack. How a pre-match attack works. If you're letting the computer control one or both wrestlers, there's 2 tests that have to be met. The first one is the percentage chance that the wrestler will want to attempt a pre-match attack. Heels will attack faces way more often than any other setting. The chances of a face pre-match attacking a heel are not very high. And how it works is the computer says, okay, what percent chance is Dusty going to attack Kabuki? And it'd say, well, there's probably a 5. I'm making these numbers up. I don't remember what they are. Let's say it's a 10% chance. So the computer does a check, and if it falls within that 10% chance, Dusty has passed the first test. Once he passed that test, then you take rating Dusty has for pre-match. We actually use one of his existing ratings. and then we look at a rating Kabuki has, an existing rating, we combine the two, then that tells you if an attack will occur. So let's just say, and again, I'm making a number up here, say Dusty's rating is like a 4 and Kabuki's a 3. That means you basically have to turn a 1 out of 10. 4 minus 3 is 1. You got a 1 out of 10 chance then that Dusty will attempt a pre-match. So the chances Dusty passes both those tests are very, very slim. Now, Kabuki, if I was having the computer control him, he might have like a 35 or 40% chance for that first test. And then if he passes that first test, his rating might be, say, 8. Well, let's just say it's a 9. Dusty's rating is, let's say, a 4 for preventing it. So the difference is 5. So you turn a 1 to the computer turns a 1 to 10 number. If it's 1 to 5, then Kabuki now will attempt to make a pre-match attack. So there's always 2 tests that have to be met if the computer's controlling the wrestler. In this case, if since I'm controlling Kabuki, I automatically pass the first test because I'm controlling him, so I get to decide. I've passed the first test, but now I still have to pass the second test, which would be that 1 to 5. So this setting here, Gary put this in during one of our last updates. You see where it's normal? That just means it uses the preset percentages. If you go half, whatever that, let's just say it's 10%. That Dusty, 10% chance for that first test. If you go half, it will be a 5% chance. Normal, of course, stays at 10, and never means Dusty will never pass that first test. Now, what should you set? Well, that's up to you. If I'm running a tournament of any type, even if it's for my territory, or especially if we're doing like a group tournament to see who might be the best champion of all time, I'm going to set it to never, because I don't want to risk a bad thing happening on a pre-match attack, and there are a lot of bad things that can happen. It's a real true risk reward when you attempt a pre-match. One thing we are considering for a next update is we are going to possibly give every wrestler a pre-match and a post-match attack rating, separate ones, and then a defense to having those occur. It won't affect that initial percentage for that first test, but it will still be the second test then. So say, for example, Kabuki ends up with a rating of 9 and Dusty Rhodes has a preventive rating, say, of 5. Kabuki would then have a 1 through 4 chance out of 10 to do the pre-match attack, but that'll be down the line. So it's your call what you want to do, but just know if you keep it normal or even half, bad things can happen. So let's go on to the next screen. I want to go probably to the final thing I want to talk about. All right, so now we're at the main game screen, and the next thing, the third thing I want to talk about here has to do with when we have a pin or a submission attempt is going to occur. So right now we're going to click action. We're not going to do any pre-match attacks. So it tells you, I didn't set the time limit because I just want to get into the match here. So I want to look at some strategy cards. All right, we do have an outside help card. I just wanted to check something here. So we're going to get started here. What we're looking for is a pin attempt, and here we have one. So this is what I really want to focus on here. So Dusty Rhodes is going to attempt to pin Kabuki. We see Kabuki's pin rating is 28, 23, 4. Now, on this screen, you see start and cancel are activated. Once I start the pin attempt, the strategy card, manager, ally, they will light up because Kabuki has outside help card and he has a manager, so the manager ally button kicks in. But right here, what I want to point out is if you do not want this pin attempt to occur, you have to click cancel right now. Because once you click start, what's going to happen is the done button at the very bottom there in the middle, that's going to become activated. Once the pin attempt starts and you click, let's say you get a 1 count, say a 25 is turned, so you got a 1 count on Kabuki, but for whatever reason you want to cancel the pin. And I'm going to get into that cancellation, why you might want to do that in some circumstances. But once you get a 1 count, if you click the done button, the pin attempt will continue through until either the wrestler's pinned or not pinned. And so what I mean by that is all the done is, it skips to the final result. You will not see the pin numbers turned. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to hope he doesn't get pinned. I'm going to just click start and we're going to let it go. But what I want you to keep an eye on is you'll see the strategy button, the manager ally, and the done button will all light up. I believe the cancel button will gray out. So here we go. Keep an eye on this, please. Okay, good result. You see how we got the 23, then the 11, and then we had the rope. So we got the 1, we got the 2, and then on the 3 count, Kabuki made the ropes. Now, during that pin attempt, you saw the cancel button go gray, you saw the strategy button light up, you saw the manager ally light up, and the done button was lit up like it is now. So the point of this is, and it's hard to explain, but I'm going to try here. Hope I do an okay job. If you click done during that pin attempt, and we're going to do another example, you would not have seen the 11 get turned, and you would not have seen the ropes. All it would do is it would just zip over and let you know what happened at the end. The text file will tell you. So we're going to do that here in a second. You do have to click done now to, because the whole process is at an end point. So when you click done, it gets us back to the match. So we're at done. Now we go back to action. So we're going to hope Dusty, okay, what I wanted, Dusty gets another pin attempt. So remember last time, still 28, 23, 4. Last time when we clicked start, we saw all the numbers turn up. We saw the 11, and then we saw the ropes. Now, watch what happens now when I hit start, and then I click done right away. Keep an eye on the first number. You see how when I hit, that when we first started, a 15 was turned? So it means we got a 1 count. So we went to the second, but I hit done. We didn't see any of that. It just skipped the 2-3 check for us to see. The game knows, because here you see pin attempt, no pin. We don't know if Kabuki kicked out after the 1 count, or if Dusty got the 2 count, but then on the 3 count, Kabuki kicked out. We know ropes didn't come up. We know INT didn't come up. So Kabuki either kicked out at the 2 count or the 3 count. The point of all this, I think some people think, well, if I just click done, it will stop the pin attempt. That is not correct. It will continue through. If you want the pin or submission not to occur, you have to click cancel before you hit the start button. So let's see if I can get another one up. Especially hold. We'll go ahead and see if he can land that. Dusty lands it, but he doesn't get to go for a pin. Just hoping we don't get a... We're going to stop the DQ. Outside action or alley, manager help. Use manager help. I'm going to click yes, just hoping this match doesn't end. Gary Hart uses a foreign object on Dusty Rhodes. Used him with Timekeeper's Belt. Pretty good one. We can try an illegal pin. We're going to click no on that. So we see Dusty's pin is 40-47. Now, for purposes of our example here, before we even start, now this wouldn't be a wise decision to do this right now, but we are going to click cancel. Why would you click cancel? Well, I never click cancel, or I shouldn't say never, but rarely do I click cancel on a pin attempt because you got a chance of pinning the guy. You could make an argument, and I always cancel a submission move or a submission attempt when the opponent's third submission rating is a 0, and here's why. Following a submission or a pin move that does not result in a pin or submission, the wrestler who applied the move will stay in control based on the hold he applied. So if, I think like in this case, foreign object, the chances Kabuki stays in control are probably 1 to 38 out of 1 to 40. So we have, I think it's about a 95% chance, or I think it is, that Kabuki would stay in control if the pin doesn't occur. If you click cancel, that would be his control. If you go through with the pin attempt and for whatever reason Dusty makes the ropes, whether through the strategy card or if ropes comes up, then we go back to what's considered original control. Kabuki's original control rating is 15, Dusty's is 14. The difference of 1 is added to 20, so Kabuki would then remain in control from 1 to 21 instead of 1 to 38. However, you got a chance to pin Dusty. I say you take a chance every time to pin your opponent. The only exception I will make is if I'm fighting a prelim, I'll quite possibly click cancel and hope, because I'm hoping my wrestler, the big star, is going to get a land a specialty move. So I might click cancel right now with the hope I can either use a strategy card or a specialty move will come up through the normal game flow. That'd be the only time. Now, submissions, I know this has been a big topic at our forum. When a wrestler has a third submission rating of 0, I find it just silly that you'd even try the submission because it can't occur because his third rating is 0. If you go through with it knowing it can't occur and ropes comes up, you are penalizing the wrestler who applied the submission move because now you have to go back to original control. Let's say a wrestler's submission control number is 34. That means he has a 34 out of 40% chance of remaining in control. And if you ropes comes up, Kabuki, let's say in this case, would only be in control from 1 to 21, so he loses a lot of numbers. That's why I always cancel a submission attempt before it even occurs, because I know it's not going to occur. If I'm sitting on my couch and I want an RC Cola, and I know 100% sure, not 99, but 100% sure there is no RC Cola in my refrigerator, and that's the only thing I want in the world, I am not going to get my big butt off the couch, walk to the refrigerator, knowing there's not an RC, just to open the door to see there's no RC, and then go sit back down. That's kind of how I look at submission when it's a 0. Now, I know some people say, yeah, but in real life, they would play through that. I don't buy that because, especially if it's a non-specialty one, how many times are you watching a match on TV when wrestler A all of a sudden puts on an abdominal stretch on wrestler B? There is no way that guy's submitting. It's not happening. So, you could run and get something to eat or do whatever you wanted, knowing you're not going to miss a submission. So when somebody says, well, yeah, but you still don't know, you do know on TV watching it, and you do know in the game when the guy's third rating's a 0. The only exception I can see, I guess, I don't do it, is if a wrestler lands his specialty submission move, even though the third number still is 0, I still cancel it. Now, some might say, yeah, but that's a specialty move. We don't know for sure. That part is true. When you're watching it on TV, you don't know for sure because it is a specialty move. However, I still cancel it because if I know it's a 0, it's a 0. So that would be the only time I would do it. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to click cancel, and we're going to keep going here. We've got another pin attempt. You'll notice Kabuki's pin rating is now up to 38, 33, 4. So the chances of getting him pinned are greater. So now let's start the pin again. We get a 1, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit strategy card. It says use strategy card to make it to the ropes. I'm going to click no. Do I want to now use a strategy card to call for outside help? Now, when a wrestler has both cards, just so you know, the ropes card is always offered to him first, because a ropes card will break the pinfall, the match continues on, you know, everything's good to go. If you decide to go for outside help, there's a very good chance Kabuki's going to get disqualified. So I'm still going to say no here, okay? So we're going to get a 2 count. Now I'm going to click manager. Call on manager, valet, ally to help. This means I would call for Gary Hart. Okay, I'm going to click no for this. We're just going to let it play through. Okay, we turned to 39, so Kabuki kicked out. But see, since I didn't click done, we saw all 3 things come up. So we're going to go done now. Dusty's going, now he's got a Stardust. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click start, and I'm going to click done. So you're going to see the 1 count, but we're not going to see the next 2. So we got a 1, and I'm going to click done, and it skips right through the next 2. But we see here, Dusty Rhodes has control, specialty move attempt, Stardust elbow drop, reduced stamina by 11, pin attempt, Great Kabuki is pinned at 10:54. So we didn't see those numbers occur, but the computer still ran through them, and we got a pin attempt. I had somebody once ask me, they said something must be wrong. I got a 1 count. I decided I didn't want to do the pin attempt, so I clicked done. Because remember, once the pin starts, the cancel button goes away. I clicked done. Next thing you knew, the wrestler was pinned. His opponent was pinned. I wasn't happy. And my first question was, why weren't you happy? The guy got pinned. But the point of it was, the pin occurred because the count still continues. So what's my thesis statement with this whole little exercise here? If you don't want a pin or submission attempt to occur, to go through, click cancel before you hit start. If you just want to take a shortcut, you're not interested in the suspense of seeing what numbers are turned, then go ahead and click done. And then it will fast forward to all this. But do not click done and then be shocked if a pin occurred, or be like, gee, I didn't even see what numbers were turned. It's because you clicked done. The other thing you can always do is when a pin attempt is occurring and you're letting it go through, you can always click the strategy button if you have an outside help card or a ropes card, because it will pause the game. It gives you a chance to think things over. You can always click cancel or no on that strategy box, saying, okay, I thought it over. I don't want to call for outside help, or I don't want to use my ropes card at this point. You can just click cancel or no, whatever it is, in that strategy box. The pin attempt then will continue to go. So it does give you a chance to pause it. One thing you also can do, I don't know if I can show it to you right now since the match ended, but we can see. Here it is. If you want to set the pin count timing, you can click that, and that will allow you at the start of the match to, well, I guess it allows me right here. You can actually speed up, make the pin count faster, or slow it down, meaning when the box comes up, you can make it painstakingly slow if you want the suspense, or if you don't care and you just want to zip through it, you can make it go fast where it's almost a blur. So I kind of like where mine's at, so I'm going to click cancel for now. So those were the items I wanted to cover on this video. I know there's 3 of them. I took 24 minutes, 58 seconds, but very important things to keep in mind when you're running your matches, just so you understand how the game works. You know, make whatever decision you want. I just want it to be an informed decision. So before I leave, I want to thank everybody who does tune into these videos. I try to do them. I'm going to start doing them in series of 3s. For those that have never ventured over to check out our forum, please consider doing so. A lot of great wrestling talk, wrestling worlds, discussions, game questions, you know, general wrestling talk. If you're a wrestling fan, we have some great people, very knowledgeable people, and I consider it one of the best forums around. Very little bickering. You know, everybody just gets along great, and a lot of friendships have been formed, and actually people have met each other, you know, through the forum and through the game. So where you can go is, I don't know what the link is, but just basically go to Google and type in Wrestling's Finest, or type in Delphi Forum, D-E-L-P-H-I, I think, Forum, Wrestling's Finest. 4 words, Delphi Forum, Wrestling's Finest, and it should take you right to the link. Click it, come on over. You don't have to have the game. Even if you don't have the game, feel free to contribute. Again, lots of great wrestling worlds to follow. I know I look forward every day to going over there, and you know, if I've been following several of them real close, I want to know, like, hey, I wonder what happened in his upcoming card. So I encourage you to pop over, say hi. Great guys. So please consider doing so. But with that, I'll say goodbye. Again, this is Tom Vogel, Wrestling's Finest PC Pro Wrestling Game. Hope you have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.